If you're a regular follower of my channel, you probably recognize this as a Shay locomotive. But what you may not realize is that the guy who invented this also invented this. Now this is Ephraim Shay's Aha. I'm Darren, and this is the Industrial Revolution. Ephraim Shay, of course, made his name and much of his fortune with the Shay locomotive. This locomotive was loved by logging and mining companies for its ability to handle steep climbs, sharp curves, and rough tracks, things that were unavoidable in those industries. With the Lima Locomotive Works producing the Shay locomotive, Shay moved up here to Harbor Springs, Michigan in 1888. He designed and built another type of locomotive, operated a logging company, and continued to tinker with just about everything. Taking what he learned designing locomotives, he built the Aha in 1891 from the same steel used in his locomotives, but he built this as a pleasure craft and described it as chiefly for experiment on both model and machinery, with speed as the chief end. With a hull shape described as either egg-shaped or a whale belly, Aha was possibly the first steel-hulled pleasure craft in the world. It's 50 feet long and, according to Shay, would accommodate 20 people outside with 3 to 4 berths inside when taking a long cruise. When you get up close, I think it's especially impressive the way that he formed the strips of steel around the 3D shape of the hull, culminating in this geometrically artistic pattern here at the stern. It turns out Shay's Aha had more in common with his locomotives than just the steel it was built from. Just like Shay's locomotives could handle rough terrain, his boat could handle rough seas, and the Great Lakes gets as rough as any. In August 1893, the far larger SS Manitou, which had just been built for the Chicago World's Fair and was dubbed the Floating Palace, had to be guided into port by the Aha in heavy fog and foul weather. Manitou arrived safely in port and went on to provide luxury passenger service between Chicago and Mackinac Island until being scrapped in 1937. Shay tinkered with the Aha regularly, making many changes until his death in 1916. After his death, the steam engine was eventually removed from the Aha. Later, leaking badly, it was being towed to storage in the 1930s when the hull began to take on a lot of water. It was grounded at Sucker Creek in North Sturgeon Bay, not far from here, beached and abandoned. The area later became part of Wilderness State Park, and the Aha itself, unfortunately, became a target for hunters in the area. You can still see the bullet holes covering much of the hull. The state eventually removed the rusted hull to storage, where it sat until 2003 when the Harbor Springs Area Historical Society acquired it, moving it back to Harbor Springs. In 2019, they began structural and cosmetic repairs, patching the holes, and putting it on display here in 2021. The cosmetic and structural restoration was to the exterior only. It also left the bow noticeably bent to the starboard side. If you know how that was bent, please let me know in the comments. And it left the bullet holes fully visible, although patched. As for the interior, Well, I was wondering about that too when I drove up here to film. Other than some structural bracing, the interior is actually completely empty. Maybe someday, if funds and interest permit, the AHA will receive a full functional restoration and be seen back out on the water. Today, she sits in Shay Park, a testament to the creativity of her inventor, Ephraim Shay.
So the AHA here was not the first steel-hulled ship in the world, not the first steel-hulled ship in the US even. It was certainly one of the very first steel-hulled pleasure craft, however. He designed it primarily for speed, with what he described as an egg-shaped hull and no need at all for ballast. It got its name, the AHA, because when he put it in the water, finally he got one that floated. Not a lot of details out there, but it sounds like his first couple may not have. So this one floated, and reportedly his reaction was, "Aha, I've finally done it." So the AHA was born. Shay was a chronic inventor. He invented lots of things here. Up in Harbor Springs, we have the house that he lived in across the street, which is now the Ephraim Shay Museum. We have the AHA. We have one of his locomotives over here. His workshop was right across the street. And his railroad, which he built here in Harbor Springs, a logging railroad, actually terminated at a park across the street here, which was his workshop and his pier where he shipped out his logs. So the AHA here wasn't specifically for industry. This was a pleasure craft, but it is still a part of the Industrial Revolution. Hey, just real quick before you go, if you could help me out, like, subscribe, share this video, hit notify so you know when new stuff comes out, that'd be great. Also, if you could help out financially, even better, patreon.com/Industrial Revolution, or click on the shop link here in the video or channel description, go out to my affiliate store. Anything you put in your cart, the channel gets a percentage, helps cover all my travel costs, so I can keep coming out here on location to make these videos for you. Thanks a lot. I'll see you next week.